Hey everybody, today we'll do another quick problem, and today we'll do continue in trigonometry. We will do problem number 1 on 7.2 in this book. It's called Algebra and Trig, Algebra and Trigonometry, right? So the question reads, it says find. It says, actually, let me just clear this from the last time. Okay, let me just clear the whole thing. Okay, hopefully, okay, so because I upload videos in Spanish too, and sometimes I do problems and I don't erase it. So okay, but anyway, let's get with this. It says fine. It says fine find the value find the value of the sixth trigonometric functions right of the angle data on each figure, right, of the angle data of each right of each figure, right? So basically find the angle find the 6 trigonometric functions of the angle data on each figure, right? That's what this is saying. Okay, so let's get started with the first problem, which is, it's in orange, so that means that it's kind of challenging. It's not too bad though. You will see that it's easy, but it's in orange. When this is orange, that means that is one of the recommended problems. Okay, so let's start with a triangle, right? So we start with a triangle, and hopefully, here you go. So we got a triangle, right? Now, usually this is A, and this is B, right? And this is C, right? So in this case, we have, they given us the value of A and V. We need to find C, right? So this is 12, and this is 5, right? So remember from Pythagorean theorem that we got the formula is called A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared, correct? Now let's say that this is a right triangle and this is data, just right there, right? We need to find data, right? We have a couple of formulas to find data, right? we have one that is called tangent of data is equal to opposite over the hypotenuse, right? We have it that, right? So we can easily, in a problem like this, we can find data by taking the inverse of this two sides. We have 5. We have opposite, right? Opposite of data is 5. And adjacent of data is what? Sorry. This is not the right thing right here. Let me just do this again, right? So it's opposite over adjacent, right? Right, opposite over adjacent, right? That's what it is. Now, so here we can actually define it easy, right? But let's say that you want to use sine of data, right? Sine of data is equal to opposite over the hypotenuse, right? So to use this formula, we can actually use it as it is, right? To find the angle, right? To use this formula, we need to find hypotenuse. We don't have the hypotenuse, right? But let's say that we want to prove it. If with both of the formulas, we get the same angle. Let's try it. But to use the sine, we have to use this formula to find C. We don't have a C. We only have an A and B, correct? Okay, so let's do it, right? So we got A squared plus B squared equal to C squared, right? And we got 12 squared plus A is 12, right? So let's go back to the triangle. A is 12, B is 5, right? So B is 5. So the square is equal to C squared, correct? So this 12 squared is 144 plus 25 is equal to C squared, correct? So 144 plus 25 is 169 is equal to C squared, correct? You take the square root on both sides. See, to get rid of that square, you take the square root on both sides. And you get a Z is equal to 13, right? And how do I know that C is that the square root of 13 of Z is 13? Well, it's because if you do 13 squared, give you what? Well, 13 times 13, it give you 169 again, right? That's how you know, right? So, okay. So now we can come into this triangle back here and just get rid of that C and put 13 in there, right? Because we found out that it's 13, right? Easy enough, right? Now we have now let's say that you want to find the angle, right? So let me prove a little thing right here. So let's say that you want to use a sine function, right? So sine of data equal to opposite over the hypotenuse, correct? So to get rid of this and get data in this side, we have to do the inverse, right? We have to do what is called the inverse. Right? But let me just in this case just do it step by step, right? Right. So let me just do it step by step. So we have what? We have sine of data, right? And then we take the inverse on both sides, right? So we do sine of theta, and we do right here, we do opposite over the hypotenuse, right? And this is equal to theta equal to the inverse. See, when I take the inverse, this disappears here, right? So I am getting the data equal to inverse sine of theta. And notice that this is not sine to the -1. No, it's just the inverse, right? It's the inverse. So opposite over the hypotenuse. All right. So we have the formula, right? So now what we can do? Now we have the hypotenuse, right? We can use the formula now. See? Now we can say that angle theta is equal to sine inverse of what we find for hypotenuse was 13, right? So it's going to be 5, right, over 13. Right? Take the little calculator. I have this TI 30XS, right? So go second, and then go sine, right? Go second, sine inverse, right? And then you put 5 over 13 is equal to 22.61. Is equal to 22.61 degrees, right? Now let's use the other function. Let's use tangent, right? So tangent of theta, I'm not gonna go and derive everything again, right? I'm not gonna go do that again now. So let's find using the tangent. So tangent of theta is equal to, theta is equal to the inverse tangent of inverse tangent to -1, or it's inverse. I'm sorry, this is not a -1. I'm sorry about that, right? Just making sure that we don't, right? So the inverse, right? Theta is equal to inverse tangent of what is it? It's opposite over. Oh, okay, I didn't write it down here. Okay, sorry. So tangent of theta so tangent of theta is equal to opposite over adjacent. All right? So in this case, tangent of theta is going to be what? It's going to be equal to 5 over what? Over 12, correct? Which is going to be equal to the same thing. Second tangent 5 over 12 equal to the same thing. So it's equal to 22.61 degrees. See that? Exactly the same thing. So we get equal to 22.61 degrees, right? So right? So I got the same thing, right? So, okay, so we got the same angle, right? Now, if you use cosine, it's going to give you the same angle, right? So, but you know that how we did this, right? So we didn't have a C, right? We did not have a C. We actually follow the formula. Oh, I had it. I had it right here. The tangent of theta is equal to opposite over the adjacent. I had it. So, okay, so 13, we found that, right? We did not have that in the initial problem. So we found that by using the Pythagorean theorem, we found 13. And we use that 13 to find the angle using the trigonometric function, correct? Okay. Okay, so that is basically, so now, okay, so sine of theta is equal to what? Is equal to opposite over the hypotenuse, right? So opposite, so 5 over 13, that would be one of the other problem, right? I'm not gonna do all of them. I mean, the angles is not necessary. Just tangent, sine, and cosine, the one that we use the most. So and cosine is also easy. Cosine is also easy. In this case, a cosine, to find the data using cosine is going to be cosine inverse. Data is equal to cosine inverse of 12 over 13, right? Because it's adjacent over the hypotenuse, which in this case is going to be exactly the same thing. It's going to be equal to 22.61 degrees, right? So that is using cosine, right? Now, cosine, right? Now we found the angles, right? So now this is sine, right? Now cosine of theta is equal to what? It's adjacent over, right? So adjacent over the hypotenuse, which is 12. Actually, yeah, it's 12 over 13. Right? Right. So now let's do the other functions that we have, right? So we have a tangent. Okay, so tangent of theta equal to what? It's equal to sine over cosine or opposite over the adjacent, correct? So it will be 5 over 12. Right? So 5 over 12. Now, let's do, so that is 3, right? So we have 1, 2, and 3. Let's do cosecant, right? So cosecant and cosine are inverse of each other, right? So remember that, actually let's do secant. Secant is equal to 1 over cosine, which is also equal to, secant is also equal to what? Is equal to adjacent, is going to be equal to hypotenuse over the adjacent, right? Okay, so cosecant is equal to what? It's equal to hypotenuse over the adjacent. Hypotenuse over the adjacent, right? So which is, right? So, okay. So now we can say that cosecant, okay, remember this is data. So, I'm sorry, secant of data right now is going to be equal to, hypotenuse is what? 13 we found, right? We found it. So it's 13 over 12. And so that is right. So this is secant of theta, right? Now let's do cosecant. So cosecant of theta. Actually, we don't write it this way. We just abbreviate it like this. We said theta equal to opposite, right? So this is the opposite. This is the inverse of the sine, right? This was for cosine right here. This was for cosine. This is for sine. So this is going to be the inverse of sine, which is sine is equal to opposite over the hypotenuse. This is going to be hypotenuse over opposite, right? Hypotenuse. Okay, so it's going to be hypotenuse over opposite, right? So which is going to be what? So cosecant is equal to cosecant of theta so okay, let me just theta is equal to 13 over 5. Right? 13 over 5. Now, we have 1. How many we have? We have, all right, so we have 3. Okay, we need one more. We need the cotangent, right? So in this case, cotangent is going to be the opposite of the tangent, right? So cotangent of theta is equal to 1 over tangent, right? Or cosine over sine, right? Or you can say, last time I proved this formula, but it's cosine of theta over sine of theta, right? Okay, so let's do the last one. Let's do the last one. Let's do cotangent of theta equal to what? It's equal to okay, so let me just sine over cosine, or cotangent of theta is equal to adjacent over the hypotenuse. No, it's not. It is adjacent over opposite. Right? Cool. So in that case, it's going to be cotangent is going to be adjacent over opposite, which is going to be what? It's going to be simply what? It's going to be simply 12 over 5. See that? Right? So sometimes this is where it makes the triangle, sometimes it doesn't. The rectangles. Or whatever shape you want to draw, sometimes it make it, sometimes it doesn't, right? Let me see if it does it right here. right? So here you go, right? Yeah, sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it doesn't, whatever. It seems like when it recognizes that it is a triangle or a rectangle or a triangle, it will recognize it. It will draw it for you. Pretty neat. For example, here, if I try to do another, here you go. Yep. Okay, guys. So this has been everything for today. I hope you learned something. If you did, just give me a like and subscribe in our channel. Right? We did a basic, trig, right? So that's how you find the hypotenuse if you don't have it. Using the Pythagorean theorems, and then you use that number to actually find the angle or find the other side. If you don't have it, right? So thank you for watching, and see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.